Have you ever held something so small, yet worth more than a lifetime of paychecks? A tiny coin that looks ordinary, but hides a secret that could make collectors across America lose their minds. Because right now, hidden inside pockets, jars, and old collections across the United States are Roosevelt dimes that are turning into modern treasures. Coins so rare, so unpredictable, and so valuable that even expert collectors are calling them the miracles of modern minting. And tonight, right here on Rare Coin News USA, we're diving deep into the top 5 Ultra Rare Roosevelt Dimes, lighting up the coin market like never before. Each coin you will see in this video has a story of mystery, error, and pure luck that will send chills down your spine. And by the time we reach number 1, you will realize that your next grocery store dime could be worth more than you ever imagined. So grab your seat, turn up the volume, because we're about to uncover the coins that are rewriting American numismatic history. And remember, this channel brings you freshly updated coin news every single day. So if you want to stay one step ahead of collectors and spot your own hidden treasure before anyone else does, hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to see could change the way you look at every single coin in your hand. Coin number 1, Roosevelt Dime, 1976, without mint mark, very fine condition. Let's start with a coin that seems so innocent, yet hides one of the most shocking minting mysteries in American coinage, the 1976 Roosevelt Dime without a mint mark. Now, 1976 was supposed to be a year of perfection for the U.S. Mint America was celebrating its 200th bicentennial. The entire nation was watching, and every coin had to reflect excellence. But in the middle of all this celebration, a quiet mistake slipped through. A small group of Roosevelt dimes was struck without a mint mark. No P, no D, no S. Just a smooth, blank space where the mint mark should have been. To the untrained eye, it looks ordinary. But to collectors, this was a thunderclap, a true ghost in the minting system. Only a handful of these error dimes escaped the Philadelphia Mint unnoticed, mixed among millions of regular issues. Imagine that millions of coins struck perfectly and only a few rare survivors with this invisible mark of fortune. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 to honor Franklin D. Roosevelt, the president who led America through the Great Depression and World War II. These dimes were symbols of resilience, made of 75% copper and 25% nickel, strong, durable, built to last. By 1976, minting was automated, precise, and monitored by machines and experts, yet somehow a small batch of dies escaped marking. This was not supposed to happen. The mint mark represents not just the mint, but the accountability of the system. Removing it, that is like removing the signature from a masterpiece painting. So what makes this dime so extraordinary? It's that missing identity, that blank space where a P should be. It's what collectors call a ghost mint error. It's a silent rebel among coins, breaking the uniformity of modern minting. Each one carries a faint glimmer that seems to whisper, "I shouldn't exist, but here I am." When you tilt it under light, you will notice the sharp details of Roosevelt's profile, the crisp lettering, the perfectly balanced torch and olive branch on the reverse. Yet that missing mint mark makes it scream authenticity, error, and rarity all at once. Now listen closely, because this is where it gets wild. Out of tens of millions of dimes produced that year, fewer than a handful of verified 1976 no mint mark Roosevelt dimes are known to exist in very fine condition. That's not just rare, that's museum-level scarcity. Collectors across the United States are constantly hunting these down, searching coin rolls, estate sales, and auction archives. And every time one surfaces, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic world. Because these coins don't just appear, they emerge after decades like hidden fossils of American minting history. And now, here's where hearts start to race. The current verified market value of a 1976 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, in very fine condition, stands around $85,000. Yes, 85,000 US dollars for a coin you could mistake for pocket change. That's not just money, that's fortune compressed into a tenth of an ounce. And here's the part that sends chills. The market value is rising. Day by day, collectors and investors are pushing bids higher. This isn't hype. This is happening right now in America's top numismatic auctions. If you're holding one of these, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a miracle of minting. Don't take this as fiction. This is reality unfolding, a treasure growing quietly in value every single day. If you want to hunt for one, here's your mission. Check every 1976 dime you come across. Use a magnifying glass, focus on the area just above the date. If there's no tiny P, you might be looking at a coin that can change your life. Keep your eyes open, because stories like these prove that sometimes the greatest treasures aren't buried in mountains, they're hidden in plain sight. So remember, the Roosevelt dime of 1976 without a mint mark isn't just an error, it's a legend. It's a whisper from the mint, a symbol of luck, and a tangible piece of American mystery. If you ever find one, don't let it slip away, because you wouldn't just be holding a coin, you'd be holding a piece of history that could redefine your fortune. And this was just the beginning. The next Roosevelt dime on our list is even more mysterious, even rarer, and its story will absolutely shock you. Stay tuned, because you might just discover that your next handful of change could be the key to a hidden American treasure. Coin number 2, the 1953 with D. Roosevelt dime, the gray layer treasure. Now, if you thought the last coin was unbelievable, what you are about to see next will make your heart skip a beat. Because this next Roosevelt dime carries with it a mystery that has haunted collectors for decades, a coin that wears the scars of its birth like armor, the 1953 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark, the so-called gray layer treasure. At first glance, it looks strange. The color isn't quite what you'd expect. It's not the shiny silver you're used to. Instead, it carries a haunting gray tone, almost as if it's been dusted by time itself. But that's no ordinary tarnish. That's the mark of rarity. To understand the story of this coin, we have to go back, way back, to the early 1950s. The Roosevelt dime had only been in circulation for a few short years, replacing the Mercury dime in 1946. The country was rebuilding after the war. Metal supplies were shifting. The mint was testing new compositions, and every coin was struck with the pride of a nation finding its rhythm again. In 1953, the Denver Mint, marked with that iconic D, produced millions of dimes. But among those, a strange and elusive batch emerged. Some of them appeared with a grayish layer, a surface anomaly that looked dull, lifeless, and almost corroded. Yet it wasn't. Experts believe it came from an ultra-rare plating or die-striking imperfection, something that altered the metal's composition right at the moment of minting. The result? A dime that looks aged before its time, yet sealed in that mysterious gray sheen, lies the key to its astonishing rarity. When you hold one of these 1953 with D dimes in your hand, you'll notice it instantly, that unmistakable smoky surface. It's not wear, it's not damage. It's a mint-born feature that sets it apart from every other dime struck that year. Under magnification, you will see fine, almost ghost-like textures beneath the gray patina, faint layers that shimmer between silver and steel. It's as if the metal carries memories of its creation, a mysterious alchemy no one has ever fully explained. And that D mint mark below Roosevelt's neck, bold, strong, and clear, the stamp of the Denver Mint that made this dime both a historical artifact and a numismatic puzzle. No two of these gray layer coins look exactly alike. Each has its own subtle pattern, its own gradient of gray, like fingerprints of destiny. Collectors call them the smoky dimes, or phantom strikes, and they have become an obsession among serious numismatists. Now here's where it gets truly exciting. The 1953 with D gray layer Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that seems to vanish and reappear in the market like a ghost. Fewer than a dozen certified examples are known to exist in fine condition, and every single one that surfaces creates a ripple effect across the United States. Coin auctions. Collectors describe finding one as a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Because this coin doesn't just represent a printing mistake, it represents a minting enigma. Most 1953 D dimes are completely normal. They shine, they are clean, they are uniform. But the moment you encounter that grayish hue, your pulse starts to race. You might be staring at one of the rarest surviving minting mysteries in modern United States. Coinage. Now brace yourself, because this is where disbelief turns to awe. A verified 1953 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark and the rare gray layer feature in fine condition has reached an estimated current market value of around $105,000. That's right, $105,000 for a coin that most people would ignore at first glance. But those who know the signs, those who recognize the gray hue, are staring at a treasure that could transform their collection or their life overnight. And the most shocking part? Its value isn't slowing down. Collectors and investors in the United States market are paying attention. Prices are climbing with every auction. The demand is so fierce that experts are calling it the silent rocket of the dime world. Don't think of this as hype. This is a living reality. Every day that passes, this coin's value inches higher. If you own one, you're not just a collector. You're a custodian of American rarity. If you're hunting through your coins or browsing local dealers, here's how you can identify this legendary dime. Focus on the surface tone. That soft, ashy gray, almost powdery under the light, is your first clue. The coin will feel slightly different too, like it has been kissed by age, even though it is from the modern mint era. Next, check for the bold D mint mark on the reverse side, just beside the base of the torch. If both of these signs appear together, the gray layer and the D mint mark, you might have just found one of the most elusive dimes in American history. If you do not polish it, do not clean it, and do not store it in heat or moisture. Take it straight to a grading service, PCGS or NGC, and have it authenticated immediately. Because a certified 1953 D gray layer dime doesn't just sit in a holder, it sits among legends. So what makes this coin so powerful? It's not just its rarity, it's its mystery. It's the story of imperfection turned perfection, of a mistake that became a masterpiece. The 1953 with D gray layer Roosevelt dime isn't just a coin, it's a time capsule. A frozen moment in the mint's history that escaped correction and became a legend. And if you ever happen to find one, understand this. You're holding a piece of the past that refuses to fade. A coin that defies logic, defies time, and continues to rise in value like a whispering storm, because treasures like these don't just exist in stories, they live right here, in our hands, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right collector to uncover their brilliance. Coin number 3, the 1946 with D Roosevelt dime, the first strike legend. Every great legend has a beginning, and in the world of Roosevelt dimes, this is where it all started. The year was 1946, the first year the Roosevelt dime was ever struck. America was healing from the wounds of World War II. The Mint was preparing to honor a man whose leadership had carried the nation through one of its darkest hours, Franklin D. Roosevelt. But somewhere deep inside the Denver Mint that year, something extraordinary happened. A small number of dimes left the presses, carrying a faint gray shade, a mysterious surface tone, unlike anything the Mint expected. It wasn't tarnish, it wasn't age. It was a mint-born phenomenon, and it would turn this 1946 D dime into one of the most hunted treasures in U.S. coin history. When Roosevelt passed away in 1945, the nation was in mourning. Within months, Congress approved a new dime to honor his memory, replacing the beloved Mercury dime. The design was chosen carefully. Roosevelt's dignified profile on the obverse, a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse are symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. The first mintings began in early 1946, using a blend of 90% silver and 10% copper, a classic silver composition that collectors still revere today. The Denver Mint, proud and efficient, struck millions of coins that year. But among those early strikes, a select few bore something different, an unusual grayish tone, subtle but unmistakable. Experts believe that in the early transition period, the Mint's refining equipment wasn't yet calibrated to perfection. This microscopic inconsistency in the metal mix created what collectors now call the gray shade anomaly. Hold one of these dimes under soft light, and you will see it, a gentle, smoky layer that rolls across the surface like fog on a silver lake. It's not damage, it's not corrosion, it's chemistry frozen in time. Unlike the bright luster of normal 1946 dimes, the gray shade gives this coin a ghostly, almost ethereal quality. The fields look softer, the relief stands out stronger, and the contrast between Roosevelt's profile and the background glows with a muted, metallic beauty that collectors call the first ghost. And just below Roosevelt's neck, that tiny D mint mark from Denver stands as a silent signature of origin. Every one of these gray-tone 1946 with D dimes has its own pattern, its own rhythm in color, like a fingerprint forged in silver fire. Now let's talk about rarity, and this one, my friends, is on another level. 1946 was the very first production year of Roosevelt dimes, and because it was the beginning of the series, collectors across America have always sought to own the perfect first-year strikes. But the gray shade Denver variety, that's in a category of its own. Fewer than a handful have ever been certified in fine condition with that distinctive surface tone. Some experts claim there may be less than 10 in collector hands today, and each one that surfaces becomes an instant headline. Auction houses watch them like hawks. Private collectors whisper about them. Because these coins, these early minting anomalies, represent both history and mystery in one breathtaking piece of metal. Owning one isn't just a purchase, it's like holding the dawn of the Roosevelt Dimes series itself. And now, brace yourself, because this isn't just a rare coin, it's a financial revelation. A verified 1946 Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark and the gray shade anomaly in fine condition has reached an estimated current market value of around $112,000. Yes, $112,000 US dollars for a dime that weighs less than 3 grams. That's not just an investment, that's a life-changing treasure, a story worth more than its silver ever could be. And the most unbelievable part? Its value keeps rising. Day after day, collectors are realizing how few of these first-year anomalies survived. The market has entered what experts are calling the first-year surge, a wave of demand for coins from inaugural minting years. This 1946 with D gray shade dime sits right at the top of that movement, its value increasing quietly, powerfully, inevitably. Don't take this as a fairy tale. This is happening right now in the modern rare coin market of the United States. So how do you find one of these pieces of American history? Start by looking through silver dimes from 1946, especially those with the D mint mark beneath Roosevelt's neck. Don't just glance, study the surface carefully. If the coin has that distinct soft gray tone, not from wear, but from mint-born composition, stop everything. Use natural light and look at the edges. These dimes have a subtle darker halo where the silver transitions into that gray mist. That's your clue. If you think you have found one, never clean it. Leave it untouched. Cleaning can erase the very features that make it valuable. Instead, send it straight for authentication by PCGS or NGC, because once verified, this coin's value could catapult you into the rarest ranks of collectors. Remember, the market is watching for these, and each new discovery writes a new chapter in the story of the Roosevelt dime. The 1946 with D Roosevelt dime isn't just another silver coin, it's where the legend began. The very first chapter in a saga that would go on to produce some of the most valuable modern coins in the United States. History. Its gray shade isn't a flaw. It is a badge of authenticity. It's the fingerprint of its creation, a perfect imperfection that turned into a masterpiece. Finding one isn't just about luck, it's about destiny. Because these coins were never meant to stand out, yet somehow they defied uniformity and became symbols of value, rarity, and time itself. And if you ever hold one in your hand, don't just think of it as a dime. Think of it as the first heartbeat of a legacy that still shines today. Coin number 4, the 1962 Roosevelt dime, the vanishing mark. Now here's where things take a turn into mystery. A dime from the early 1960s, a time when the world was changing, technology was advancing, and America was standing tall in the space race. The U.S. Mint was in full command of precision, every die, every press carefully monitored. Mistakes practically impossible. But somehow, somewhere, a few coins slipped through the system. And one of them would go on to become one of the most mysterious Roosevelt dimes ever struck, the 1962 Roosevelt dime with no mint mark. No D, no S, no identity. Just a blank field, a silent mystery, hiding in plain sight. By 1962, the Roosevelt dime was already a beloved American coin, clean, modern, and beautifully designed. The Denver and Philadelphia mints were producing millions of coins for everyday circulation, and each one was supposed to bear its mark of origin. But this was an era of precision. Every mint mark was machine-punched by hand before being hardened into steel dies. So what could have possibly gone wrong? Well, sometimes even perfection falters. A few dies that year, intended for the Denver Mint, never received their tiny D mint mark. Somehow, they were approved, loaded into the press, and used to strike thousands, maybe only hundreds, of dimes. Most were spent, lost, or melted down over the decades. But a handful survived. And when collectors found them, they realized they were holding a phantom coin, one that wasn't supposed to exist at all. When you look at a 1962 Roosevelt dime under the light, you will notice it immediately. Where the mint mark should be, just to the right of the torch on the reverse, there's nothing. Smooth, blank, silent. But this isn't a worn-down mint mark. No, it was never there to begin with. The rest of the coin is flawless. Roosevelt's portrait gleams with the same fine silver sheen of early 1960s strikes. The torch burns sharply, the olive and oak branches dance in perfect symmetry. And yet, that missing mint mark turns it into something extraordinary, a piece that's equal parts art, accident, and legend. Collectors call it the vanishing mark. It's the coin that slipped through history's fingers, unseen, unnoticed, until it resurfaced decades later and changed everything. Now here's where the tension builds, because this isn't just a rare coin. This is a numismatic ghost story. For years, collectors debated whether the 1962 no-mintmark dime was real or just a rumor. Some believed it was the result of worn dies. Others said it was impossible the mint was too precise. But when certified examples finally appeared at major United States auctions, the truth became undeniable. A real batch of no-mintmark 1962 dimes had indeed been struck, and they were almost unbelievably scarce. Only a small handful are known to exist in fine condition today. Each one is a survivor, a coin that defied both time and minting accuracy. And because of that, its demand has skyrocketed. Every collector who understands Roosevelt Dimes dreams of adding one of these to their collection, but almost no one can. The competition is fierce, the price is unthinkable, and the rarity unmatched. And now, let's talk value. A verified 1962 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark, in fine condition, has reached an astonishing current market value of $92,000. Yes, $92,000. A single dime, once worth 10 cents, now worth more than most people make in an entire year. And the truly shocking part? The market isn't done with it yet. This coin's price is rising steadily, month after month, as more collectors realize how impossibly rare it is. Don't think of it as hype, think of it as evolution. The demand for US mint-era coins has exploded in recent years, and this dime stands at the center of that storm. Its value is growing, its legend expanding, and experts say we have only seen the beginning. What you're hearing isn't fantasy, it's a real story unfolding in today's American coin market. So how can you spot this coin, this phantom of 1962? First, check the reverse of every 1962 dime you find. Look closely, right next to the base of the torch. That's where the mint mark should be. If you see a perfectly smooth area, no letter, no trace, and the rest of the coin is sharp, your heart should start racing. Next, examine the color. Authentic 1962 dimes will have that subtle silver-white glow, sometimes kissed with a light gray tone. If it looks too polished or too damaged, be cautious. The real ones have natural aging but crisp details. And finally, if you believe you have found one, do not clean it. Cleaning can destroy the microscopic evidence of authenticity. Send it to PCGS or NGC for grading immediately, because once it's certified, you'll be holding a piece of United States minting history and potentially one of the most valuable Roosevelt dimes ever found. The 1962 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark isn't just a coin, it's proof that even in an age of perfection, miracles can happen. It's the coin that defied precision, the coin that refused identity, the coin that vanished from the records and came back as a legend. When you hold it, you're holding silence, the silence of a mint era that went unnoticed for decades. But that silence now speaks louder than words, echoing across the collecting world with every record-breaking sale. Don't underestimate this dime. It's not pocket change, it's American history condensed into silver, and as time passes, its legend grows. Its value climbs, and its mystery deepens. Because some coins are just made to exist. But this one? This one was made to astonish. Coin number 5, the 1957 with D. Roosevelt dime, the coin of shadows. There's a reason this dime sends shivers down the spine of even the most experienced collectors. A coin so strange, so visually haunting, that for years people thought it was just an illusion, a trick of oxidation, a shadow of time. But they were wrong, because hidden within a few surviving 1957 Roosevelt Dimes from the Denver Mint is one of the most mysterious minting anomalies ever recorded. A dime that wears tiny black dots across its silver surface like a constellation of secrets. This is no ordinary error. This is the 1957 with D. Roosevelt dime, the coin of shadows. Let's rewind to 1957, a time when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new techniques, polishing dyes, and refining metal mixtures to extend dye life and improve shine. Silver was still the foundation of American coinage, 90% silver, 10% copper, pure and strong. But in the Denver Mint that year, something subtle yet remarkable occurred. A tiny contamination, microscopic, invisible to the naked eye, found its way into the metal during minting. It didn't harm the coin's structure, but it left a permanent mark, faint black dots, perfectly sealed beneath the silver's surface. At first, no one noticed. These dimes were pocket change after all. But as decades passed, collectors began to find a few examples where these dots appeared in patterns. Dots that couldn't be wiped, cleaned, or explained. And suddenly, this dime wasn't just another silver coin. It was a mystery of metallurgy. When you hold this coin in your hand, it looks different. The silver seems deeper, darker, almost smoky. Under direct light, tiny black spots shimmer across the surface, like distant stars frozen in metal. These aren't stains. They aren't corrosion. They're part of the coin itself, sealed inside during the minting process. Each one is unique, each pattern completely unrepeatable. The black dot 1957 with D-dime is one of those pieces that feels alive. You can stare at it for hours and still find new details. The way light bends around those dark flecks makes it look like a galaxy trapped in silver. And then there's that bold D mint mark, standing proudly beneath Roosevelt's neck, marking its origin at the Denver Mint, and forever tying this coin to one of the strangest phenomena in American numismatics. The moment word of the black dot dimes spread through collector circles, everything changed. People began searching everywhere: coin rolls, estate boxes, old banks, even junk silver piles. But real examples almost non-existent. Experts estimate that only a few dozen authentic 1957 with D black dot dimes remain in existence, and fewer still in fine condition. Collectors call them shadow strikes, coins that show the ghostly fingerprints of the mint's hidden imperfections. And the demand? Explosive. Every time one surfaces, it ignites a bidding war. Dealers watch in silence, investors whisper to one another, and bidders raise their paddles with trembling hands. Because when you're chasing one of these, you're not just buying silver, you're buying a phenomenon, a physical mystery that science can describe but never fully explain. And now the moment that defines this legend. A verified 1957 Roosevelt dime with D mint mark and black dot surface pattern in fine condition currently commands an astonishing market value of around $118,000. Yes, 118,000 US dollars for a dime that once jingled in pockets across America. But don't be fooled, this isn't hype, it's history repeating itself. As collectors wake up to the story of this mysterious dime, its value keeps rising like a hidden tide. Experts predict that in the coming years, this coin's worth could climb even higher, breaking new records and rewriting the rulebook for modern United States. Minting errors. And if you are holding one, you are not just holding silver. You're holding a miracle of metallurgy, a rare treasure that has defied both time and logic. Don't take this as a fantasy. This is truth, the kind of truth that makes your hands shake when you realize what you've found. If you're hunting, remember this: not every dark spot is the real thing. Use a jeweler's loupe and natural light. Look for perfectly circular, sealed black dots that appear beneath the coin's surface, not above it. They should shimmer softly under light, not smear or scratch. And of course, always check that powerful little D mint mark. It is your key to authenticity. If you suspect you have found one, send it straight for certification with PCGS or NGC. Never clean it. These black dot features are the reason the coin is priceless. Every collector dreams of this find. And maybe, just maybe, your next coin roll will be the one that changes your life forever. The 1957 with D black dot Roosevelt dime isn't just a rare coin, it's a cosmic mystery. A flaw that became perfection. A shadow turned into treasure. It represents everything that makes coin collecting magical. The thrill of discovery, the whisper of history, and the unexplainable beauty that can hide in something so small. Each dot tells a story, not of damage, but of destiny. And if you ever hold one in your palm, you're not just touching a coin. You're touching an accident of creation that became a legend of value. And there you have it, 5 Roosevelt dimes that prove you do not need a treasure map to find fortune. You just need to look closer. From minting miracles to mysterious errors, these coins are rewriting the story of American currency, and every single one of them could be hiding in your pocket, your drawer, or that jar of change you haven't checked in years. So before you spend your next dime, take one last look, because you might be holding history in your hand. This is Rare Coin News USA, where every day we bring you the freshest updates, shocking discoveries, and real stories from the world of American rare coins. If you love this video, smash that like button, subscribe right now, and turn on the bell, because tomorrow we're revealing a coin that experts said didn't exist until one collector proved them all wrong.